Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? I'm back from my trip. Had a great time at the conference and spending some time on the beach. Got some sun and some salt air in me. So I'm back here sharing a few more things with you on tips and resources to get beyond your sugar cravings and get the sugar out of your life. So a lot of you have talked about wanting to know some more about cleansing. So this is the second video I'm doing to give you some tips and resources. And I'm just going to be pointing you in the direction of some things today. So then it's up to you to actually go look them up to see what those particular plants do. And then from there, you can try them out yourself. So a lot of this, what I'm sharing with you, has to do with giving you tools and resources for you to take it on yourself, to do things to improve your health, and ultimately that leads you out of the sugar cravings trap. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. Just say hello. Love to hear from all of you as you're listening to the stuff I'm sharing and what your thoughts and comments are. So feel free also to drop a comment, drop a question in the chat or in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them for you. So I wanted to give you some more resources with cleansing, more in the terms of herbs and oils. Last week I shared with you some just different powders and mixtures of things that you can use. And so now I want to give you a little bit more specific oils and herbs. And then from these, I'm just going to mention them. It's up to you to go do your own research, find out what those particular herbs do. Hey, Mia. Thanks for tuning in. Before you need to sign off, but I'm glad you jumped on and joining me this afternoon. So one of the big things that's important about doing cleansing in general is that the end result is that it helps shift and maintain a proper pH balance. When the body's pH gets towards the realm of more acidity, that's when you know you're creating an environment that's ripe for pathogenic microorganisms. Bacteria will shift their function to accommodate that environment, and you're setting yourself up for inflammation, breakdown, disease, degeneration, and ultimately death. So that's something that we want to really pay attention to. And foods, the drinks that we use, the essential oils and herbs that we use, all of these can help maintain a proper pH. There's test strips you can get using your saliva and other bodily fluids, I think primarily your saliva or your urine, to help with testing the pH. So if you have a question about that, go find some strips and do a couple of testing for yourself. If you are having a lot of meat, animal products, packaged, processed, manufactured, fake foods, I call it, or pretend foods, then you know that you're creating an overly acidic environment. And eventually you're going to run into problems. And it's going to show up everywhere in the joints, in the stiffness, in uric acid, in your liver, everything. So I'm just going to give you a few things that you can, some protocols that I've found. And I'm referring from the Essential Desk Reference, Essential Oils Desk Reference. This is the 7th edition. I think this is the latest one. If you have any earlier editions, you can also look through that. But that's where I'm drawing some of my references from today. So I'll give you a couple of recipes and herbs. Let me just find the page here. There's several of them that I was looking at. one of the things that you can do to do a consistent cleanse that's really popular right now is intermittent fasting. And that is where you just get into this routine where you are eating in a 7 or 8 hour window, and then for the rest of the 18 hours or so during the 24 hours of the day, then you're fasting. And what that does is really give the whole digestive system a rest that allows the energy of the body, of the metabolism of the body, to be spent in repair and healing and recycling of tissue instead of digestion. There's a lot of energy that is expended on digestion, and sometimes you just really need to give your body a rest so that it can divert its resources to do other things that it needs in maintaining your house or like keeping your house clean. One of the most important things that science has found from fasting is that when you conclude a fast, the next 24 hours or so after that, then the human growth hormone is really high, and that produces a lot of stem cells. We've heard a lot about stem cell replacement therapy and use of stem cells, but you can stimulate your body's own production of them by doing regular fasting. And then from there, the body uses those stem cells to create whatever tissues it needs. So if you're doing a project, for example, if you've had a compromised liver, or you've got joints that really need rebuilding because they've fallen into disrepair and too much acidic conditions, fasting is one of the and cleansing is one of the best things to help that, because number one, it helps or it rediverts the energy of the body from digesting food to repair and rebuilding and healing. And then in that is, with the production of stem cells, then the body can use those stem cells to build new tissue in your joints or your liver or wherever it is that the body needs to be upgraded. So rather than thinking that it's impossible for the body to repair itself beyond just cuts and bruises and broken bones, we've been taught this idea that aging hits at a certain time. There's certain things that happen. The body looks a certain way once you hit 50, and everything falls apart. And I can tell you that that is really not true. It's a myth, and it's a marketing spin that big pharma and big agri want you to believe, so that you'll go running to your doctor and get on drugs for the rest of your life. The body is always repairing itself. The question is, what's the state of the daughter cells that your body is producing? Are they as healthy as the mother or the grandmother cells? They can be. They can even be healthier than the mother or grandmother cells. It's up to you to determine how healthy the daughter cells are going to be. And that is largely done through your diet, your mindset, your lifestyle, and the environment that you're creating for your body. So cleansing can support a lot of that, to take out the garbage. Your body is always cleansing. It's just whether or not you're allowing it to do it as most efficiently and effectively as it can. So when we take some pause time, and we'll be talking a lot more about that in the next few weeks, when we take up time to pause and allow the body to cleanse, and we give it resources to cleanse with, then you make that part of your lifestyle over a period of time, like 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. You'll be able to look back and see how much progress you've done. And that's something that we talk a lot about in the Freedom Club. And that's, for those of you who are in the Freedom Club, then I help walk you through making those changes over time so that you have that starting point, that baseline, to look back at, so you can compare and see and chart how much growth you've made. So if you want to know some more about that and wanting to check out the Freedom Club, then drop me a line, let me know. All right, so let's give you some few oils that help with cleansing. And again, I'm just going to list them. You can go do your research further to know what they do. Oils that are very helpful for cleansing the colon, a couple of them, are rosemary and basil and fennel. You can also use oils of lemon, geranium, juniper, oregano, Idaho balsam fir, ledum or ledum, L-U-D-U-M, peppermint, grapefruit. Did I say ginger? Ginger's one of them. Melaleuca or tea tree, mountain savory, and the loved blends of thieves and purification. You can use these oils individually if you don't happen to have the blends, but they're so common. I think most everybody probably does. In purification, there is citronella, there's lemongrass, rosemary, melaleuca or tea tree, lavandin, which is a sister to lavender, and myrtle. And then thieves, as we all know, has clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. So those are all very helpful. And those are all ones, well, let's see, the purification blend, you can't take it internally. But hello, Adela. The other oils that I mentioned, you can take internally. And so what you would do is like mix them in with a tea or put them in a little gel cap or mix them in with a smoothie or some salads and soups and such. Let's see, what other things can you use? Here's a grapefruit recipe I'll give you. You'll want about half of a cup of freshly squeezed grapefruit juice, about a quart of purified water, 3 drops of spearmint, 3 drops of tangerine, and a little bit of stevia or honey or maple syrup just to sweeten it just a little bit. And that you can use throughout the day to help cleanse and help with the pH balance. Let's see some other oils that are very helpful for the liver. The liver is a whole conversation in itself. We'll do that another time. But celery seed, ledum, helichrysum oils are very helpful for liver detoxification. Blue tansy, geranium, Roman chamomile, fennel and rosemary, and helichrysum is really good for also the liver. Let's see some other ones. Juvatone, Juva Power, the supplement powders are also very helpful with that. Here's a juice recipe that you can use. You make 3 ounces of beet juice, 1 ounce of carrot juice, 1 ounce of celery juice, 1/3 of an ounce of white radish juice, 1/8 of an ounce of ginger that you can juice, 1/3 of an ounce of red potato juice. So you'd mix all that up, then you drink that throughout the day. So I want to just make a real quick sidebar about beet and celery juice. A lot of people have an issue with those because there's a lot of sugar in them. And yes, there is. However, you see that there's a lot of other things mixed in there. You're not just taking sugar and beet and carrot straight. There's all these other ingredients, the celery, the white radish, the ginger, the red potato. All of those have lower sugar counts. So when you mix the whole thing together, you measure the sugar count of that entire juice blend, not just the carrot and beet juice in isolated. The juice count or the sugar counts can be totally different. Oh, good. Mia, you've tried Juva Power. Hello, Adela. I mentioned you. Hello, Helen. So I just want you to be aware of when you're looking at the whole juice, the whole salad, the whole meal, that's going to dilute whatever natural sugars are in a fruit juice or carrot or beet. So don't get all hung up and twisted about how you can't have food, vegetables, because of the natural sugars. And you also got to realize when you're making a fresh juice, a lot of the other nutrients and water and such of the juice is going to come through. There is going to be some fiber that comes through, a little bit of pulp that comes through a naturally made juice. And so when you take that also into account, the end result of the sugar content of that whole juice is going to be different than what you probably may think it is. So don't be afraid to drink it. Also, they're very beneficial for cleansing. Fruits tend to be cleansing when you do them even in fruit juices. Vegetables tend to build. So when you have vegetable juices like this potato, the garlic, the celery in this combination, then that's building you up as well as cleansing. Okay? All right, so the other thing I wanted to give you is some herbs, and you can use these as teas or powders, tinctures, various concoctions that are really good for cleansing. If you get the powder or even the root, then you can steam it or boil it in like, especially with roots. You boil them for a while, boil the water down, and then you can add some more water and boil it down again. And that will make a real concentrated, I want to say concoction, but there's an extract, or that's not the right word. There's a particular term for that, of that really high concentrated herb that then you can use in teas and other drinks and things, juices for cleansing. So I'm just going to give you the rundown, and again, go look these up individually and try them out. And then you can also look for recipes and blends of these particular herbs and then try them. So burdock root is really a beneficial herb for cleansing. Milk thistle, cayenne pepper, garlic, ginger, cilantro, chicory root, dandelions, fenugreek. So a lot of those are in teas. Some of these are even in oils that we have. And then some of them just use the straight herb, the straight plant. So have any of you used these? Just give me a thumbs up, let you know, or even write down what ones you've used or what ones you really like. Some other popular ones is red clover, stinging nettle, cilantro, I may have mentioned that, ground ivy, milk thistle, and neem. Those will naturally do an overall whole body detox, and some of them will target more specifically like the kidneys or the liver or the intestines. All right. Here's some good liver herbs. Dandelion root, it's very common to use in a tea. Yellow dock root, and this is where you'd want to like boil the roots for a while, and then the water is very concentrated, then you can use that as a tea. Milk thistle seed is really helpful for the liver. Burdock, I've mentioned that, is really helpful for the liver. Oregon grape root, sarsaparilla root, and then for Chinese liver cleansing herbs, Schisandra berry. That's a very that berry has multiple uses in Chinese herbal medicine. It does 100 different things. Reishi mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, are incredible. Have you tried them? Have you tried any of these? Thorowax root. It's a Chinese herb. Chinese wild yam. Now here's a couple of ones that are really good for the colon. Pau d'arco bark, black walnut hulls, the skin or the hull or the shell, or not the shell, but the thin skin in between the nut and the shell of the black walnut. Turmeric root, and I think we just came out with the oil on that. And yeah, so those are a good list of things for you to use with your cleansing. So those are some oils, some herbs, and a few insights on cleansing the overall body. So tell me if you've used some of these and what your experiences are, or what your favorite oil is that I've mentioned. And I also want to let you know that I will be sharing a little bit more about general cleansing, especially the liver cleanse. My next class that I'll be doing for you guys is going to be going more deeply into cleansing. So be watching for that. I'll be posting some things in the group about that. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Do you have any questions about any of this stuff? If you've used things that I haven't mentioned here, just drop a note also below and let me know some of your experiences with them. All right, so thanks for tuning in and enjoy your afternoon, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.